Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, I want to be covering why bankruptcies are coming and the signs that are happening right now all over the place, whether it's in America or especially even here in Australia. It's absolutely crazy what's going on right now here in Australia. So I want to talk about that. Also, I want to be a bit of a rant on Trump, and where Trump, he really needs to be focusing on something different than he keeps bringing up, and I'm going to talk more about that when I get to that point as well too. Also, I'm going to talk to you guys about the actual stock market right now and why the stock market is not the economy, and we can no longer think that, okay, if something's overvalued, then it can't go down, and so on and so forth. And so on and so forth. So I'll be talking about that as well too. Also, I'll be talking about like the best type of companies to, if you're looking for the best companies to do well out of this environment over the next couple of years. I'm going to be talking about those different companies, and also be talking about why inflation is coming, and probably what the best sort of companies are what sort of the best sort of asset classes are when it comes to the inflation that's coming, probably maybe a couple of years from now. So that's what I want to cover in today's video, guys. And just before I do start, guys, make sure you go down to johnsflash.com. If you haven't got this trading course yet, guys, then you're nuts. All right, it's $7, and I also give 100% money back guarantee as well too. Go in there. And I've also added a new video to this as well too. It's also a bit of a blueprint from what you really need to know. This is like a 10,000-foot view of what it really takes to become a good trader in the markets. Go in there, grab all this, start getting the breakthrough that you need in your trading. So I want to talk about this here, but firstly, guys, I want to give a big congratulations to my private clients. I personally just got out of my most successful trade for this year. Now, it is my most successful trade. It was a 1,100 and I think 60% return. I've been in the trade now I was in the trade for over 2 months, and it's my most successful trade. So I'm probably not going to be trading for another few weeks just so I can calm down from it, but it was my most successful trade. But not only that, but I actually had one of my other clients, one of my other private clients who was actually on that same trade as well too, and he actually put, let me actually just do this here. I'm going to obviously cross out his name, but I want to just share this with you and just say I'm just a big shout out to one of my private clients right now who's just doing so well. So I want to cross out his name so he can't actually see his name here, but I want to share this with you just quickly, and I'll get just a real big shout out. Here is the screenshot that literally you can see. I literally just took that screenshot just then from the Facebook group with my private clients, and the same trade that I got in, the same trade that I was, again, guys, it took me a long time. It took a long time for this trade to develop, and also I was in the trade. Yeah, 1,160% return. Again, it's my most successful trade ever, so I'm really glad and really happy about that. But not only that, but James, one of my private clients, he said, "Nice work, John. Thanks for teaching us how to make profits. What a great trade." And then he says here, and basically I said to him, "What'd you actually get?" He said about 800% at least was in 2 different accounts mixed with options and stocks. So we'll have to do the math. Very happy. So big congratulations, big thank you, big congratulations to one of my private clients named James, who was on that trade as well. So big sign for that. Before I get into this whole bankruptcies and things, guys, here, I just a quick little update, guys, on what I've done. The reason why I'm saying this to you is not to brag, because, you know, guys, the market can slap you as hard as you can look at it. But I've said something here in this last 5 minutes, and I want to help you guys when you go through really good times, okay? I've just gone off my most successful trade ever, but what can tend to happen, right, when you start to trade really well, what happens? Your ego starts to get involved, and you start to think you know it all, and the market can slap you. So this is not an ego point of view. I'm trying to share with you guys a bit of a fundamental basis here that even for me, what I just said there, I've had over 1,000% return on one trade, my most successful trade of the year. So I need to take a step back for probably at least 2 or 3 days to calm down a bit, because I'm on a bit of a high right now. And so I can come back and not blow that up, right? Because so many people when they're trading, guess what? They may do well, right? But then suddenly they started to get into everything. They start to go. And suddenly before you know it, they're blowing up their account. Not only do they lose all their profit, but then they're going backwards. You know what I'm talking about, right? So please, guys, I'm just trying to share with you what I do when I have a really big win like that. Massively successful trade for me, and so I'm stepping back, and that's what the trading is all about. It's all about managing these emotions within that case. Okay, so let me actually just give you a quick little update, guys, actually in the stock market, and then I'll get to these different sections here that I want to talk about here. So on the stock market, guys, if we're looking at the real short term, I want you to forget about everything I've said in the past, guys. Obviously, watch it, learn from it, and so on and so forth, right? But in the short term, that obviously anything can happen, and we need to just simply follow what the market is saying. And looking at the very very short term, we can see how that we've actually been compressing up through here. We had a bit of a double bottom and a bit of a sideways range through here, but notice how we're actually squeezing up into a triangle pattern. This is something I haven't noticed until I took everything off the screen and said, okay, market, you talk to me. And so therefore, guys, we could be getting ready, even though the economy is in the shitter right now, we could be getting ready to have a bit of a spike up and then a bit of a run to all-time new highs out of the actual stock market. Like, it may be getting ready for that. And again, guys, I honestly did think, guys, in the past that the market would actually have another bit of a drop to the downside by now. But for me, I've got to eat my crow. So you know what? It's really difficult because we're not breaking up, we're not breaking down. But what I'm seeing right now, guys, I'm reanalyzing, and I have to get refocused back on what the market's telling me right now instead of the big picture all the time. The small picture here, this last couple months, this last 3 months of data is telling me that, hey, we are squeezing up into a bit of a triangle pattern here. And if we break above 2650, 26,500, we are likely to run at least back up towards the 27,500 level. Same for the S&P 500. But look at the S&P 500. If I go to my last, say, 6 months worth of view, we're actually in a bit of a triangle pattern here. And so once that breaks, we may be getting ready for another big run in the actual stock market itself. I know it sounds crazy. It's like, how can this even happen? But that's one of the points that I want to talk about here. When the stock market's not the economy, I have to stop having a bias on the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones based on what the economy is doing, right? Because I have actually had a bit of a bias looking at these markets. Now, thank God I haven't actually traded like that. My trades that I get into, I just have a trading system. So the trade that I got out of today, it was just based on my trading system. Now, I don't make money all the time and so on and so forth. But as we can see, that we're in a bit of a triangle pattern. So if I'm just honest with myself, like, hang on, all right, John, let's get real. Let's actually look at what's going on here in the markets right now. We're still slowly stair-stepping higher. We've been in a bit of an upward trend here. So the trend is up. And we're starting to break above this level through here, and now we're actually finding a bit of support level through here as well too. So we could be getting ready to go for a big move up. And one thing, guys, that I have missed in the last sort of couple of weeks, maybe to a month, probably a couple of weeks to a month, that it always comes back down to what's the market telling me. Because look at this here. If I'm looking at the Nasdaq, I started getting a bit bearish around the Nasdaq around 10,000. Then when it broke above 10,000, I'm just like, you know what? All bearish bets are off. But see this here, guys, and again, I'm going to eat my crow here, but that's okay because I never trade based on what I think. I always just trade based on a system. So, but as you can see here, right, look at this. We can see based on the Nasdaq, what has the Nasdaq been doing this whole time? Higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, run up, drop down, higher, low, run up, drop down, higher, low, run up. So as you can see that this market has never changed once to say that we're in any bearish mode at all. I did a video around here saying there was a bit of a short-term head and shoulder, and I expected it to drop down to 9,400 on the hourly chart. But as you can see, when you start to look at the higher time frame, which was the daily chart at this time, you start to see, hang on a minute, we're still stair-stepping higher, so we shouldn't fight the market. And guys, the reason why I'm telling you this right now is because this is one of the mistakes that I make probably a couple of times a year. and I need to remove everything off the screen like this. And I say, okay, let's actually bring up the last 3 months worth of data, and you know what, market, you tell me what's going on here right now. And then I'm just going to start to draw my trend lines, and then you're going to start to say, look at this here. What's the market doing? We're stepping higher right now. So this could continue to step higher for a long time. And by trying to short the market, we're just going against it, aren't we? We're trying to fight the market here. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, right now. I'm not bullish or bearish, the actual stock market, guys. I'm just a trader. But looking at the actual S&P 500, I have had a very bearish tone. And even yesterday's video, I said, you know what, and even at the Dow Jones, we're still stuck right at this resistance level here, you know, and we're having a lot of problems here. But now going back to what the market's really telling me and clearing my mind, and this is something that's important for you guys as well too, when you're doing your analysis as well too, if you start to see that you're more swayed to one side than the other, you're going to become blinded to possibly even the truth of what the market's telling you. So for me, I've had a very bearish tone and a very bearish view on the SPY, Nasdaq, Dow, all that sort of stuff. So I looked for any reason why this market is going to go down. What I've done in the last 24 to 48 hours, I've removed all that. Said, okay, I'm not bearish, not bullish. I'm just going to go back and let's actually see what the market's doing right now, because the market is the only thing that we trade, and the market is the truth. Because again, that's the thing we trade. So I hope this lesson for you guys as well too is I'm not perfect. Now again, thank God I don't trade what I think about the S&P and the Dow. I do trade my system, and that's the reason why I do well out of trading. But what I've been thinking and my view and my bias on the S&P and the Dow Jones has been bearish because of everything else has been bearish. So, but I've got to come back to reality of just because the economy is bearish doesn't mean the stock market is going to be bearish, especially in this environment right now where it's got nothing to do with the fundamentals and it's got everything to do with what the Fed's doing and the printing of money. So I hope you guys, if you are in that state right now as well too, if you're in that state where you're finding yourself very sort of swayed at one level, one area, meaning you might be really bullish or really bearish, or only bearish or only bullish. Possibly you're doing that because you've got a position on, but even if you don't have a position on, but you're really sort of swayed to one side or the other, come back to a blank chart like this, just a blank chart with nothing on the screen. It's like, okay, let's actually look at this here and start to do simple trend analysis, and you'll start to see what's going on here. And you can see here that this market ran up, made a higher low, double bottom, and we're pulling back through here. So we haven't actually broke these lows. For this to be bearish, we would need to break above $25,000. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys. Once again, I've had a very bearish tone lately because I've had a very bearish mindset looking at this. And my only hope in telling you is that, one, I'm not perfect and I don't give a shit. Two, I'm just telling you what I've done in the last 24 hours just to get myself refocused back on what the market is. It may hold here and drop below 25,000 for me. I don't know. But what I am saying is that I'm looking at this here right now, and if we do break above 26,500, then we are definitely going to start to see, well, not definitely, but we're probably likely to start to see some really nice movement to the upside. So let's actually continue on to what I was talking about, what I wanted to talk about here in this section through here. One thing I want to talk about here is the bankruptcies and why bankruptcies are coming and the signs are all over the place. The thing is that I see so many people, or here in Australia, like down in Melbourne, I'm in Sydney, and so south of Sydney is obviously Melbourne, and Melbourne right now is going through a massive shutdown again. And no doubt that's going to happen to here in Sydney, which it totally pisses me off. It really does. And like, guys, this whole companies and these people that work so hard for their businesses to get up and get going. Do you know how hard it is to run a company, especially run a brick and mortar company like a cafe? Here's my $5 donut and help me pay my $500,000 a year, lease expense. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many companies out there that are just
on the brink of not doing well. And I get so cranky at this situation because I'm just like, on the one hand, there's been so much proof around why this CV is nowhere near as deadly as what people are saying, but yet they're totally ignoring all this factual stuff that's happening out there right now and blowing up and now shutting down, companies again, or shutting down states here in Australia. It's absolutely crazy what's going on here. And even though there's been more facts and more doctors and more people coming out than ever before about this and why the shutdown shouldn't happen, we're still doing this bullshit. I don't understand it. It just drives me absolute nuts, guys. And it's pissing me off right now. Like, I don't know. It's got to do with control. It has to do, right? It's like, it's all about control. So I remember a while ago when the whole lockdown was happening here in Australia, it's like, if you go to the beach, we're going to fine you $1,000. It's like, excuse me? I can go to the beach if I want to. You can piss off. It's like, what the hell does the government... And now we're going to be forced to take a vaccine, and everyone thinks that the bloody vaccine is going to help us out, or can't wait for the vaccine. Look at the reality of this whole situation. Vaccine bullshit? Really? There's been a flu vaccine out for how long, and still how many people die of the flu? Talking about that, and people are just so damn, they don't look at the facts for what they speak. I was talking to one of my old friends at one of my old gyms just recently, and she was saying, I saw the numbers for influenza, or basically the flu. I saw the numbers for the flu, and they were down like 60% this year. And I said to her, what a coincidence. So yeah, the flu numbers are down, but suddenly we've got this coronavirus. And I said to her, is that a sign that this whole thing is bullshit? And she goes, no, not at all. No, it's pretty deadly, And I'm just like, oh God. And one thing I'm learning is to be patient and just like, sort of, okay, I don't fight people on it. I'm just like, okay, whatever. If that is not a complete, and the factual numbers of, like, even the person who used to speak with Donald Trump about this, I forget her name, but she was saying that if they die of a bus, if they die because they get run over by a bus, but they potentially maybe could be having signs of the corona, they died of the corona. Even she was saying that. I forget her name, who was doing the press releases. What's her name? Leave a comment below. And even that Fauci guy, talking about how, like, mask, and you shouldn't be, mask, it's not really going to help you, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Now it's like, mandatory mask. Oh my goodness, you haven't got a mask on. What all that bullshit? No, I don't want to wear a bloody mask. I want to be able to breathe. And what's this bloody bullshit that we've got to go to gyms now to, some of the gyms, no, not my gym. I'm really, really happy about that. But I saw some people in America that you got to go to the gym and wear a mask. Hang on a minute. This doesn't make sense. Firstly, we're spending billions of dollars over flooding hospitals that never get used, or ventilators to help people breathe. Now we're suffocating us by wearing masks in gyms. What the hell is that? This is just absolutely what? Bullshit. Anyway, I'm coming off my most successful trade ever, and I'm on a high right now, but on the underlying surfaces, it's just money, guys. What I mean? Like, I can make money. I do really well from trading. So whether it's this, like, I can continue to do well from trading. And, and once you learn how to make money from trading, it's just a thing, right? Like, you have your losses, you have your wins, and you just continue to trade and do well. But on the underlying surface, all this other stuff that's really important to me, I see this big thing that hits a lot of people, and I'm just like, this is bullshit. And so so guys, when we're seeing all this, and then after this whole JobKeeper and JobSeeker payment and people with their mortgages and all that sort of stuff, like, signs are all over the place that bankruptcies are coming. And I'm telling you right now, the good old GOV, good old government, they're not really helping at all. They're not helping at all. In fact, they're making the situation worse. even when there's been proof and factual that wearing masks and spikes in cases and anyway, so there's my little rant about the whole bankruptcies coming, guys. They're coming right now, and I thank God every day, guys, that I had the skill to trade these markets, no matter what the market's doing, because you can trade well, guys. This is just not me saying this. Like you saw one of my private clients just recently. You can trade well overall. It's going to take you a long time. It's not easy. It actually is a difficult thing. The difficult thing is stopping you from taking all the bullshit and only taking stuff that actually, start taking trades that meet the system. That's the difficult thing about trading. It's never about the markets. The market's never against you. It's you against you. Because I guarantee you, if you just stuck to one good system with a good, really good win-loss ratio, you're gonna do well. You're gonna make money. Yes, you're gonna have your losing trades, but by the end of the year, you might have 20, 30, 40 trades. Even with a 70% win-loss ratio, you're going to make money. You're likely to do well if you stick to the system. That's why it's so hard for you guys to not do well overall. Because, like, if I do an S&P 500 update and I'm bearish on this, you're like, oh, he's bearish. Let's go short here. Or I'm bullish. Let's go long here or whatever. So that's the reason why it's so difficult for you guys to actually do well out of the trading. So, but guys, and I understand that with you guys. I was there for so many years, and I realized that once my mentor said to me, he said, John, if you want consistent results out of the markets, you must consistently be trading a system and nothing else. Like, makes sense, right? If you're all over the place, if you're not consistent, how do you expect to get consistent results? So now let's continue on to my rant on Donald Trump. Oh man, where do I start with this guy? It's like, this whole thing about Donald Trump right now, when he was running for president, stock market's in a massive bubble. Stock market's in a massive bubble. Stock market's in a massive bubble. Now he's like, last year when the stock market was, or every single industry, Nasdaq, S&P, Dow were at all-time new highs. Oh my goodness, right? Everything's at all-time new highs. Stock market's at all-time new highs. As he just finished the presidency, the first 12 months, as the market was making new highs, oh look, the stock market's making new highs every day. And now look what he's doing. Now he's saying, oh, the stock market, oh, the Nasdaq. He's like, the Nasdaq's at all-time new highs again. The economy's coming back. What a load of bloody bullshit. Seriously, Mr. Trump, the stock market is not the economy. Let's look at the facts. You still have a 10+% unemployment, my friend. No, the economy is not doing well. Like, seriously. And if you seriously wanted to help the people, then stop flooding money into the stock market to try to prop it up and continue to put money into developments that are going to continue to support, not just give money out. What is that bullshit? Let's actually pay more. Let's actually pay the people. Let's actually pay the people more money to stay home than they would to go to work. What happens when you stop paying those people all that money and they have to go to work? They're pissed. Oh my goodness, I was making $2,000 a week. I was making $1,000 a week. I'm not going to go back to $500 a week right now. Or what's that bullshit? $400 a week? Oh my goodness. And that's what's going to happen. There's going to be so much rioting and all this sort of crap because the government's not helping out. They think they're doing whatever they can to try to fill it. And they're trying to do whatever they can. But guess what's happened? If they've got, I forget the actual number. Say, for example, they got like, a $7 trillion. We'll call it a 6, right? A $6 trillion in deficit in spending, which is not growth for the economy. So they spend all this money, try to just give it to people. And give it to people to try to help them, to just give it to them so they can go spend it. Guess what they're doing? So I would say half of it is actually then going to savings, and the other half of it blowing on Robinhood. It's just like, Mr. Trump, who gives a shit about the stock market? And this is coming from a guy from a guy who trades, who makes money from trading. Who gives a shit about the stock market? Who gives a shit about whether it's making new highs or not? Stop focusing on that. Because right now, if the stock market was in a bubble when you became elected back in 2016, oh my goodness, what's the Nasdaq right now then? That thing's been on a vertical terrain to the high side. Like there is just like if I look at let's look at this here. If I look at these markets through here, look at these here. This bottom chart here is the Nasdaq. Look how vertical that thing is there. Look at this. This is the Nasdaq here. Just absolutely just crazy. And so like this is not helping, but you just buying. Anyway, you guys leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this whole thing about what Trump. Now I know Trump's not doing it. I know it's the Fed, it's a good old Powell and so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't know. I think the good old Trumpy has a lot to, has a lot to do with what's going on. You know what I mean? But and at the end of the day, Trump shouldn't be focusing on propping up the stock market, buying financial assets. That doesn't work. It just doesn't work because it's just not. You're focusing on the wrong areas. If you want to be spending trillions of dollars, don't just give it to people. Maybe start up opportunities for people to take opportunity, like getting productive. That's how this whole economy. That's how the whole economy is going to start to turn around. Get people productive. Help people be productive. You're not helping people be productive at all. What are you doing right now? You're just giving people all this money to teach them not to be productive. That's like all on the other side. And so guys, that leads me into my next point here, which is the stock market is not the economy. Guys, right now, the Fed and the government are doing whatever they can to put more and more money in here. And there's going to be trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars more money spent to keep propping things up and keep propping things up and keep propping things up. So that's where, guys, right now, I've been bearish on the stock market right now, but all bets are off because I have no idea. Yes, the market can come down from here where we are right now, and we can go through the roof right now as well. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just going to keep following along with what the market's telling me. But if we don't think the market can crash, if we don't think the market can just go through another big move because of what's happening right now, and the Nasdaq is in a big massive vertical bubble right now, and it can't keep going on and on, then it's not the fundamentals that's driving the economy right. It's the stock market right now. It's the Fed and the government. So, but that doesn't mean you don't have opportunities to make money from the markets, guys. Like don't let that be your excuse of why you're not trading or why you're not trading well. If you're not trading well right now, you're not making money. It's because you're a shit trader. Simple as that. I guarantee you that you're not following a system that works. When I say that, guys, works means a good win-loss ratio. Now, moving on now to the next point here, which is the best companies to invest in right now. I'm not telling you guys what company to invest in, but the companies that are going to do the best right now and moving over the next, probably do the best over the next, probably, I would say, next 3, 4, 5 years, are going to be, are going to be places like food outlets. Like here in Australia, we have a company called Woolworths, okay, and Coles and Aldi and those sort of places. These food places that people are definitely they're not going to stop spending money there. These food places, which now they're jacking up their prices even more, so they're going to be making even more profits. They're probably going to be your best companies to invest in long term. Trading, guys, is a separate thing. But to invest in long term. And as inflation kicks in even more, well, yes, we're already started food inflation, but when inflation starts to pick up massively, that's going to continue to push up. That's going to continue to push up property prices and also food and lumber and all those sort of prices as well too. So inflation will come, guys. Just not yet. Right now, they're spending a lot of money. The reason why they're spending a lot of money is because the country is not growing. We're getting decreasing of velocity of money. But over the next couple of years, we're going to see a massive spike in the velocity of money, which is also going to pick up. Which is also going to pick up inflation. And then they're going to realize, the government's going to realize now they've printed too much money into the system. And they're going to try to stop it, and it's going to be too late. And we're going to start to see massive inflation. And again, guys, that's going to take some time for that to happen. It may take a good couple of years, maybe more, for us to start to see the inflation of all the money that's in the system right now. But the reason why they've had to print so much over the last 10 plus years is because they're trying to counteract they're trying to counteract basically the hole that's happening in the economy right now. So there we go, guys. There's my little rant. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Do you disagree? Do you agree on some of the things I've said today in this video here? And guys, I hope you guys stay well and keep focusing on trading well. And above all, guys, please, please, please learn the art of becoming a good trader, which simply means just find a system and stick to it. Don't load up too much money per trade, and you can do really well from trading. You really can. And right now, more than ever, is the time for you to start learning that.